And obviously, we also, talk to clients individually, one-on-one, in order to provide them advice and to walk them through the process. But we're always looking for new ways to better communicate with our clients, to be clearer. And when an opportunity came up for us to collaborate with the Center for Urban Pedagogy, creating a new tool to be able to educate clients, we jumped at the opportunity. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Claire to talk a little bit about the Center for Urban Pedagogy, CUP, what they do, and this collaboration.
Cool, thanks, Peter. So I'm with CUP. We go by Center for Urban Pedagogy. We also go by CUP. And we are a nonprofit based in Brooklyn, and we use the power of design and art to support meaningful civic engagement in partnership with marginalized communities. So one of the programs that we offer is called Public Access Design, and that's actually how we ended up collaborating with Peter and Clay on this project. And our projects that are in the Public Access Design program are these 4 to 6 month-long collaborations between CUP staff, a designer, and a community organization like VOLS. And these projects result in these kind of like pocket-sized booklets. I have a few with me here, including the one we're talking about today, but they're these pocket-sized booklets that kind of explain smaller, so not smaller, but like enough that could fit into like this small pocket booklet, issues so that people can have agency in their own lives to make choices, the choices that work best for them. So we collaborated with Clay and VOLS to create a project called Planning for Your Future that explains how people can make life planning tools and pick which ones would be right for them to make. And I'll pass it over to Clay to talk a little bit more about the process behind how we made the tool.
Thanks, Marissa. So with a lot of projects, I feel like it's really nice to look back on the process and reflect about how we iterated and improved on the design. So it's also daunting when you get like all this information. And for me, I was excited to also work with a different audience than I usually do. Designing for accessibility is really important. So making sure that the design was friendly for senior citizens and also accessibility across like reading, colors, text, visibility, and also illustrations was really important. So on the left, you can see like our first version, and this was our first take at it. And it's also important for like me as a designer to remember that the feedback is most important because this is supposed to be a functional tool, especially because this is important content and like making sure that people feel empowered to make decisions for their life. So on the left, we got feedback. You can see like there are 2 pairs of hands, and there was feedback like that the colors were kind of sickly and like it wasn't very friendly. And version 2 was like to a response to sort of maybe remove the human aspect and try to make it less about people illustrations and maybe more just about shapes. On the next slide, this is version 3 and 4. So the shapes weren't really working, and we decided to go back to having like humans in the illustration. And so we started to play with that, but we were realizing that the categorizations of like, okay, I want to do this, and that means that I should do a living will, or I have this planned out, and that should mean I should sign, fill out a power of attorney. We want to make those categories like a table of contents more clear. And especially for older folks, things like visibility is really important. So differentiating by not only colors and like tones, if someone is say like colorblind or has, different colored sight, then also differentiating by shape is also important, like different languages. So on the right, you can see we added colors and shapes to help make that table of contents more visible and hopefully more fun too. And on the last slide, this is the final version. And we got feedback that it was really helpful and a much better like upgrade. I was really happy to hear that people felt like they were, that we were actually listening to them from our first feedback, that things weren't working, that they felt like it was not so friendly. So yeah, this is the final look of the just this one spread in the beginning of the booklet.
Thanks, Clay. And here's the cover of the booklet, and I showed you before. We have tons of copies in the office, but it was really amazing how thoughtful everybody was about accessibility for our clients, to make sure not only that the language was clear, but also that the design, we were able to guide our clients to the important information that they needed, which was so amazing. And that is something we as a law office are not always that great at. So being able to work with designers was really amazing, and such a great opportunity. You could see at the bottom of the page, and I think we could put it in the chat as well, a link to the project page on CUP's website that has more information about the process, but also a link to the tool as well. So the tool is available to anybody to download free off of CUP's website as a PDF, but also there's an opportunity for your organization if you're interested in ordering copies as well. So that's another really fantastic opportunity that CUP has presented for us and our community and our clients. And also, if you're interested, please, we actually have many in our office. And so if you're interested, please reach out to me as well. And we'd be happy to share a handful of them as well for your community. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back to, and I apologize, Marissa, before for saying Claire, but I don't know if Claire or Marissa is going to talk a little bit more about CUP and the opportunity for other community-based organizations to get involved in these kinds of projects.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. So like Clay and Peter and Mercer have said, we're so happy and proud to have created this tool and get it out into the world. If you are working at an organization or know of any organizations that could benefit from a tool like this, we'd love to hear from you and to have you apply if you're interested in getting a visual tool. I can leave a couple links in the chat, but currently we're accepting applications. They're due in about 3 or so weeks. So your organization or whatever issue you're working on could have a tool like this. So we have small tools, sort of like the same format as this. So 4 to 6 month collaborations to make a tool, or longer, 8 to 10 months. And we've worked on issues like housing rights. Here we've worked on like end of life planning, but we're open to working and would be excited to hear from any of you all.
But happy to answer any questions folks have. You want to put in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself. If there's no questions, again, thank you, CUP. Thank you, Clay. This has been just an amazing collaboration, and this is going to be a tool that we're going to use for many years to come. It's been really a great opportunity.
I know it's raining. Hopefully my flight.
And thank you all for coming to the presentation today. We really appreciate your partnership with VOLS, your work with our community, and your interest in joining us. So thank you all again, and take care.
It looks like someone in the chat said, is there a referral? I'm not sure what that means.
Carmen, are you still there? Carmen, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat, and I know you have it already, but I'll put it there as well.